Hi everybody, this is a blue and black Mindsplice Apparatus deck. We're trying to get this artifact down, put some counters on it, and decrease the cost of all of our spells. The main spell I'm looking at is Outrageous Robbery, a card that exiles the top X cards of our opponent's library and lets us look at and play all of those cards. Now, my goal is to make this as big as reasonably possible, so we've got a few other things in here to kind of help with that. We've got a few other proliferate spells with Experimental Augury here and Drown in Ichor, two things that are good in the early game to help us find like a board wipe or take care of some early creatures, along with a smattering of semi-normal removal. Then in the 3-mana area, we've got 2 copies of Confounding Riddle, a Demonic Bargain, 2 Path of Peril for some board wiping and some late game help with that as well, Kaito Shizuki for some nice utility, and the Celestus for pretty much the same reason. To go along with all of this early game stuff, we have Deadly Cover-Up that helps us out as soon as we can hit turn 5, is a nice clean way to sweep the board, and we can collect evidence and exile something pesky from our opponent's graveyard. This has a lot of targets in the current standard environment, so I kind of like this one here. We're running a few one-ofs of some Planeswalkers in Ashiok and Teferi, and a copy of Invasion of Arcavios to do some tutoring between our main and our sideboard. I've also got Breach the Multiverse because we can make that pretty cheap with a Mindsplice Apparatus as well. This deck started off a little differently than it looks right now, so partway through the video I will speed through the update process and then we'll keep going with the version you see here. We learned a few things along the way and were able to adjust the deck and our sideboard that you see here to give us some utility and pull out some things that were actually useful later on in the game. With that in mind, let's go rob some opponents on the ranked standard ladder. Alright, oh, we got our Mindsplice Apparatus straight away. Outrageous Robbery, probably more of a late game thing, but I think we can start building it up. Go for the throat, probably protect us in the meantime. Spirited Companion from our opponent. Alright. Confounding Riddle, a great turn 3 bridge. We can potentially counter something. Ooh. That is an artifact, isn't it? Ugh. Well, there goes the go for the throat option. Alright, let's play Shipwreck Marsh. Opponent with land number 4. I'm dropping to 15 with that attack. Virus Beetle. Another artifact creature we can't destroy. Alright, let's get rid of this robbery then. Got one more in here. Looking at the top 4, we'll take Ashiok. Yikes, that was 3 lands on top of there too. Rotten luck. Alright. Well, we're passing it back to the opponent. We've got Mindsplice on deck. We're going to most likely take 5 here. Opponent drops us down to 10. Was hoping to pick up a sweeper. Oh, that's interesting. Opponent with the Spirit Sisters call. So looking to recur some things then. Okay. Well, we've got our Mindsplice down on the board. Picked up Experimental Augury so we can start putting counters on it. Let's see, if we do that, we can't play Ashiok. But I think it's important, and it can dig for the next thing and dig for a sweeper for us. Interesting. So opponent, virtue of persistencing their own Spirited Companion. That's right, so Spirit Sister's Call activates every turn. So they sacrifice the Virus Beetle to get back the Spirited Companion and draw. So I guess... Can they swap these back and forth then? Alright, let's play our second Mindsplice, get some more counters going. Things are nice and cheap now. Let's go Augury and see what we can find here to address all of this. Alright, I guess we'll take Augury number 2. 2 counters. Let's go Augury number 3. We don't need another Mindsplice. Invasion could be good. It's kind of sad that we don't get the discount from it, but let's keep looking with Confounding Riddle. Case or bargain or robbery. Kind of want to take bargain here. All right, let's go bargain. And let's get... I think this makes sense. So if we do deadly cover-up, we could take their best thing. Yep, let's do that. So we can collect evidence too, which is going to help Ashiok out, just like the demonic bargain did. So yeah, you see Ashiok's counters up to 26. Let's grab these Flesh Gorgers. They've got a portal in hand. Oh, wow. Alright, oh, Rites of Oblivion too. So a bunch of little things, some Junjis, some way to reanimate things. Kind of a grindy deck, so... as long as they don't have any more reanimation targets, we're just going to have to contend with this Virus Beetle potentially coming back in the meantime. Okay, more counters on Mindsplice. Let's try to get Ashiok going, since we know our opponent can't reliably address that right now. Let's see if we can get Ashiok up to the requisite 7 that we need. We'll exile the tower and take the path. We do have white mana now, so if we cleave the Path of Peril, it's going to be pretty cheap too. Opponent finds Lily, but Ashiok's still safe from that. Alright, well, let's discard the path. We know they don't have any creatures in hand, and it's just the Virus Beetle down in the graveyard. Alright, Mindsplice creeps up ever higher. We redraw the path. Well, let's keep plussing Ashiok. Solid plan for now. Let's exile the Wastes and take Rona's Vortex. Threw this in here because with the kicker cost, the apparatus actually decreases the colorless portion of whatever kicker cost you're using. So Vortex is now 2 mana. Let's put Lily on the bottom of their deck, just in case they draw in a way to take care of Ashiok. Don't really want to have to deal with sacrificing half of my stuff. Okay, they're up to 7 mana now. Virtue of Persistence is on board. Spirit Sisters has to target something every turn, so no worries there. Let's go land. And I think we're going to go Teferi here. So Ashiok's only at 26. Let's do one more activation. And by 26, I mean we would only exile 26 things from our opponent's library. If we were to activate it right now. Okay, Virtue of Persistence, a much better reanimation strategy. Brings the Virus Beetle back. We're going to pitch that Path of Peril to it. A second Virtue. That's okay, our opponent really doesn't have that many things available. Yeah, it's just a portal down there. Good call getting rid of that Flesh Gorger, even if it was like one of 2 copies in our opponent's deck. Alright, they opt to bring the portal back. That gets rid of our Teferi token. Let's Augury and see what we got here. I guess we'll take Vortex. It's a nice answer to things that doesn't put it in the graveyard. Sure. And we'll put counters on everyone. Mindsplice goes even higher. Island the draw. Alright, well let's play the island. Take a look at the sideboard here, because I can't remember what's in it. So we've got Scrutiny, we could fill up our hand. Breach could help mill our opponent even more. Wow. Opponent's got a giant deck. They've only got 53 cards left in that library. We've got our work cut out for us. Alright, let's go for the draw. Alright, let's exile with Ashiok. Sorry, I had to think of some options there. Okay. Sideboard. We've got Cover Up, Extract the Truth, Dreams, Breach, Blue Sun's Twilight. Not sure that's what I want to go for. Alright, opponent's gonna make us discard with the Virus Beetle here. Spirited Companion comes down. Okay. And I think Ashiok might be the way out here. We draw Extract a Confession. Alright, let's draw with Teferi, see what we can get there. Raffine's Tower. You know, let's Extract a Confession. So that there's no limit, right, to how many things we can collect evidence on? Yeah. So let's just collect all of the evidence. According to this, it's 28 mana worth of stuff. And we're not a bombardment deck. We don't need to hold on to this. Can't take it with you, as they say. So it doesn't really matter which one they sacrifice. This was essentially a way to get more things into exile. And yeah, now Ashiok's up to 56. Opponent's got 51 cards left in the deck somehow. We finally got Ashiok big enough to get there. And we've got Vortex in hand for whatever might pop up. Couple of Virtues. And poetically, it's going to be their own spirited companion that does them in. Good game. Alright, let's get this one started here. Interesting, we've got both of our types of white sources in hand for the eventual Path of Peril. Looks like opponent's on red and black with a greedy freebooter. Nice. Scry, get a treasure token. I feel like I've heard more people talk about that particular card in Standard nowadays. Another copy. Well, we'll get to see firsthand if it works out. Opponent attacks for 1. Ooh, Requisitioner. I sense a theme going here. Somebody's going to get sacrificed. Alright, we've got 2 robberies and an Ashiok off of this Experimental Augury. Let's take a robbery. It's too early for all of these. Ooh, and we draw Mindsplice. Right on time. Okay. I was going to say we're going to need a few turns to find Apparatus first, but there she is. Alright, opponent attacks for 5. So I think just planning out these few turns with what we've got. Let's try to Demolition Field one of these vents. So I think we can Mindsplice next turn. We can Deadly Cover up whatever's on the board. And then hopefully by then have another way to deal with this leftover Restless Vents. It is going to cost us some life to do it, though. So let's go Apparatus, you're on deck. Followed by Deadly Cover-Up. So opponent attacking for 5. Puts us to 9. Play some more things to the board. No, okay. Decides not to. Or can't. Apparatus lands and survives for the moment. We draw a Case of the Ransacked Lab. Alright, we gotta go do Deadly Cover-Up. Can't afford to take too much more damage. This does leave behind the vents. Give our opponent some treasure. Alright, well if they're planning to go for a big thing, hopefully we can deal with it with Extract a Confession. There we go. Bonehorde Dracosaur. I see, so exiling things off the top. Making dinosaurs. Let's play this land. I don't think we can case and solve it this turn, but probably just a good idea to get it down. Might be in a scenario where we actually are able to solve it after robbing our opponent. So let's extract that confession now. Dracosaur goes away. Yep, let's pass it on over. So opponent could get in pretty cleanly with events. No, decides not to. Alright, this might be our shot then. Let's play Shipwreck Marsh. Excuse me, we'll pass it on back. So we've got all the mana at our disposal. Is opponent looking at our graveyard there? Don't think we've got anything worth reanimating. Oh. Goes with Deadly Cover-Up. What is down there? Okay, only 3 things. They could be going for our Deadly Cover-Up. I guess that's fine. Even if they take our Extracted Confession, we get a card out of it. Oh, they take Augury. Interesting. Yeah, Augury not as important to this version of the deck. It's not quite as combo-rific as the blue and red version that I play. But not a bad choice. That being said, we're going to fire off a giant robbery at the end of our opponent's turn. Wow. Lands galore. 6 lands out of a 9-mana robbery. Alright, well, let's play this swamp. Opponent doesn't know that these are mostly lands, and we're not going to clue them into that fact. However, interestingly, Corrupted Conviction is 0 mana. Interesting interaction between Robbery and Apparatus. It can make the spells we steal with it free, even though it can't make our spells free. So let's go Double Requisitioner Blitz mode. We will attack with them, and we can sacrifice one of them to this Conviction before they bite the dust, get a few cards out of it. We get Riddle, go for the throat. Draw some more cards off this other Riveter. Blast Zone, okay. Yeah, if we have enough targets, we might be able to solve this case now with the spells we have, but we need our opponent to play out a few more things. Unless we can, like, stack up instants on the same creature. Not sure if that would work. Okay, opponent's got another Deadly Cover-Up. Let's counter this one. I don't want them to exile the Robbery, since we do have one more of those in this deck. Yeah, okay, alright. Opponent scoops it up there. Good game. Alright, I think this one could work. Extract a Confession for something early. Work our way up to Invasion, perhaps. Ooh, Monastery Swiftspear. Alright, well, this is always the true test of a new deck that you're throwing together. How does it hold up against something like this? Play with Fire. Drops us to 17. They keep on the top. Never a good sign. Swiftspear drops us to 15. Okay, well, I kind of like this answer to Swiftspear. Let's play Island. Extract a Confession. I suppose they are technically tapped out, but it's always nice to have a clean answer to something that they can pump up a little bit. Oh, Forge. What the Forge? That is going to be a tough one to deal with. I don't think we even have an answer to that one in our sideboard. Okay, let's play the Marsh. So we can draw here with the Tower. Then we're online to play the Apparatus. Oh, and a follow-up Swiftspear. We just have to survive. Definitely on a clock here. Alright, and I may have a second copy of March in the side that we could use. Down to 11, Charming Scoundrel. Alright, I guess... Yep, that lands. makes a treasure. Okay. Alright, let's cycle the tower. We get Augury and a land. Huh. Well, a big march could pull us back from death's doorstep. Question is, do we have time to land this apparatus and get there? Opponent coming across for 5 with these creatures. Ooh, lightning strike to the face. This is going to drop us to 2. Alright. We can respond to their 1 card with this march. Looks like they don't have it. Okay, let's go Apparatus then. Although that would have been brilliant if they had waited for us to Apparatus before firing off that final lightning strike. Okay, we draw Edict. Alright, everything is an instant besides Invasion, and we can't Invasion or we die. So let's pass it on over. They play Koth. Koth gets a mountain, sure, that is okay. Alright, and Foundry takes 2 mana to activate. So it's just these this turn. Opponent comes over with a Forge token and 2 creatures. Let's see. So Koth isn't immediately a threat if we leave Koth alive. So I think we can use this Edict. Augury is essentially free. Okay, let's make him sacrifice the token. And that way I think we can save this march for the Swift Spear. Because then if they respond and try to remove it, the prowess will protect it from like their own lightning strike. Okay. Up to 6, we take 1, drop to 5. We're still going to have to find a way to deal with this Forge. Okay. Path of Peril. So if we path, we're still losing to the Forge and the Foundry next turn. We could fire up the Reef to block, but that's not enough. Extract the Truth, not helpful. I mean, possibly Breach. I don't know. I feel like I really got to rework this. Really got to rework this somehow. All right, well, let's at least Augury and take a look here. It's not looking good. Yeah, Deadly Cover-Up, Extract Confession. Deals with the one thing on board, but still leaves the two other threats behind that we can't deal with. Yeah, I think that's it. I think they got us. Good game. All right. It's me from the future. Gonna do a quick voiceover on the editing process for this deck. Was not satisfied with it. Needed to rework the sideboard for sure, and the main deck just felt like there were some good ideas in it, but it really needed some refinement. Yeah, especially this sideboard. Look at that. So we're just going to run through some of this real quick. I did not have a second copy of March in the sideboard like I thought I did. And so we're going to take out a few things that were not very useful and put in some definitely situational things, but also things where we can go tutor for them with Invasion and then cast them straight away with the leftover mana. The frustrating thing about Apparatus was that it did not decrease the cost of Invasion, meaning we were still kind of tight on mana if we were looking for like an emergency escape method, if that makes any sense. Taking out Silver Scrutiny, since we actually never used that. Putting another Robbery in the sideboard. And want to add in a Celestus here. Figure the deck's all about robbing. We might as well make the Invasion be able to grab one from the sideboard, and then we keep 2 Robberies in the main deck. So now just cutting the final 2 cards from the deck, we're going to take Case out because we don't have enough card draw to reliably solve it. And then I believe we take out 1 Robbery before taking this deck out. Back on the ladder. Let's go. Alright, what do we got here? Path of Peril, Drown in Ichor. Alright, let's give this a try. See if we can't shore up our consistency versus faster decks. Let's start off here with the Shipwreck Marsh. Great hand against any deck with creatures. We'll see how it goes. Let's play this Raffine's Tower. Another Shattered Sanctum from the opponent. Okay. Well, we'll just keep playing some lands. Graveyard Trespasser. Hello, old friend. Alright, nothing in our grave. Let's go extract a confession then. Good answer for the Trespasser, so we don't have to discard anything. And let's play out this tower. We'll eventually be able to get up to Path of Peril. The nice thing about that in this deck is if we get a Mindsplice going, we can do the cleave cost. And that gets reduced, so it's essentially 2 mana. Opponent's got a Flesh Gorger for us here. So we could do Drown in Ichor. Path of Peril won't work. We could play Teferi and just draw. Yeah, let's do that. That way Teferi survives. So opponent most likely has removal. Looking at those colors, they could remove our token and Teferi with the attack. Whereas now, well, I suppose he's still pretty vulnerable to a Sheoldred's Edict, but if they just have creature removal, we're fine. Okay, opponent's got a Raffine. They're going to get to connive. Decisions. What are we conniving, opponent? Okay. Conniving Sheoldred the Apocalypse. Usually means they've got another one in hand. So we can do full price Path. Let's do that. Get rid of both of these things since Raffine is nothing but trouble. And we'll keep drawing with Teferi. I mean, if you're playing a control style deck, wipe the board, then draw a card. Not the worst thing. Opponent's soul transfers back a Flesh Gorger after taking a moment to think about it. Alright. Let's play Demolition Field then. Opponent has a few restless lands over there. We're going to make a token. And pass it on over. So if they fire up the Reef, we can handle that with the Demolition Field. Otherwise, we can maybe find room to flash in Apparatus. Nothing we can do about this. Opponent decides to exile Teferi with Legions to Ashes. Plays the land, and they decide to play the Flesh Gorger back out for 3. Well, now's our chance. Let's flash in the Apparatus. Put a counter on it. Spirit grows a little larger. Let's play our land. Let's actually go Drown in Ichor. We've got the life for it, and I could use an extra counter on the Apparatus. Oh, and we'll put one on the Spirit too, while we're at it. Let's go attacking. Has Vigilance, so we'll just keep it around as a blocker. What do you got, opponent? Oh, of course you would. Artifacts, creatures, and enchantments, so the graveyards are safe. Alright, well, tell you what, let's rob in response then if we're losing this Apparatus. Oh, we pick up some threats. That's good. So what do we got? Henrika, Underdog, Terror of Tawashi, that's a new one. And Phyrexian Obliterator. We got an Urtai's Scorn too. Alright, let's play out the Reef. Let's go Obliterator. That'll kind of make their creature lands, using their creature lands a little more difficult. And we've got Urtai's Scorn if they've got, like, removal for the Obliterator. So maybe we can ride this guy to victory. The end. Let's counter that. And nothing else. That's a great sign. Alright, kind of want to hold Underdog. It's like a hasty 3 damage. What can we play here? Could play Henrika. Draw a card. Let's fire up the Reef. Go to attacks. Just see what they do with this. Okay. Mill them for 4. There's another Sheoldred down there. Let's just throw out this other Henrika. In hindsight, we could have done that pre-combat and would have been fine, but, you know. Oh, Breach. Breach the Multiverse from the opponent. Well, I don't know if you're going to get anything that great out of my deck. Alright, we'll sacrifice Henrika to this Sheoldred that they brought back. Thought Teferi was down there. They probably could have grabbed Teferi? Am I wrong about that? At any rate, let's keep going. We'll fire up the Reef. It's got Death Touch, so let's send it in. Happy to trade the Reef for their Sheoldred at this point. Oh, Voidrend. Milled a Voidrend off the top. And they're willing to sacrifice Sheoldred. Either they didn't see the Death Touch, or we're in for another Breach here. Okay, opponent's at 7. Terror of Tawashi, return something from our graveyard to our hand. That's not really useful. Opponent hits Legions to Ashes and decides to take care of the Obliterator. And Aklazat's Deepest Betrayal comes out. Legions, Voidrend, couple of Breaches in the yard. Edgar, Junji. Oh, okay. So, looks like some light reanimation going on over there, but also some sort of mid-rangey dragons. Start firing up the Blast Zone just in case somebody comes back from the grave that we can't deal with. And play out this land. Alright, is there a world where we can steal a win here? Let's go Deadly Cover-Up and collect some evidence. Yeah, we'll do the Breach that we put into this deck. And what are we grabbing here? Yeah, if we grab the Bat, then it doesn't come back as a land, right? What else is in our opponent's deck? A couple of counters. Definitely some more removal. Cut of the Prophets. That's interesting. And a few more creatures, one more Farewell, and a Virtue. And I guess that was the only Bat God in there. Okay. Let's see. Edgar. Soul Transfer. So that's how they're going to get some of this stuff back as well. Yeah, Junji can help with that too. Okay. Alright, so the Bat God does not come back transformed. It's been exiled. Let's play out the Terror just as a creature. And yeah, let's pass it on over. So the danger of playing out the Underdog is that if it dies at all, then it goes back to their graveyard and they get to use it to draw cards, which I'd like to avoid as long as possible. Opponent plays Flesh Gorger. Alright, let's get Kaito going here. Let's draw. Invasion. 1, 2, 3, 7 mana. We can play Island for 8. Don't think that leaves us enough to blitz the dog just yet. Looking at the sideboard. Okay. Let's go Invasion. We're going to search our library. kind of forget that we can do that sometimes. Oh, do we not have a good answer for this in our library? Oh, no. Okay. I've made a huge mistake. No, it's fine. Let's see. Rona could work. We've got enough mana to pay for targeting the creature. Alright, let's do it. Yeah, this'll work. We've got 4 mana available. We can pay the kicker cost. It's gonna sting. Yeah, we'll take action. Drop to 10. Tuck that on the bottom of the library. And let's go attacking the opponent. Alright, drops them to 3. Kaito phases out. Alright, so if they decide to go for the attack... Oh, they got Void Rend for the creature. Yeah, Fortress could gain them some life. That'll get them up to what, 5? Yes, okay, so too much for the dog. And we are out of creature lands. Alright, let's make a ninja.
Our eyes are everywhere.
Okay, pass it on back. So we've got this Demolition Field. We could force them to try to power up both creatures to come at us. Or power up both lands, rather. Path of Peril. Such extreme measures for such a small creature token. Okay, opponent fires up the Fortress. So before attacks, we'll hit it with Demolition Field so they don't get to gain any life. Yes. Opponent looking at that. Alright, so we need 4 mana to blitz the underdog. 3 damage. We gotta find the other 2. Alright, opponent taking their time here to find just the right land. Let's go grab one from our deck. So we do have Restless Reef up now. I think we got it. Yep, opponent's fully tapped out. We got Reef, we got Blitzed Underdog, and that is enough to put this one away. Yeah, we'll mill ourselves, why not? And there it is. Alright, good game. Okay, let's take a look here. Yeah, we've got Mindsplice. I think this is worth keeping. We could eventually do the trick with Rona's Vortex, where you pay the kicker cost and it's just 2. That's why there are a couple of cards with kicker in this deck. Sometimes you just latch onto an idea and go for it. Alright, opponent makes a token with Virtue. Spirited Companion. Okay. Could be looking to flood the board and then play out Virtue of Courage, making everybody big. Could be looking to convoke some things too. Let's go Path of Peril then. Destroy these creatures. Try to prevent a 4/4 knight from joining the fray. Opponent plays Lunarch Veteran. That fits right in. Okay, and then follows up with Skrelv's Hive, so I bet Wedding Announcement is in there too. We're going to pass this one back over. So we can flash in Mindsplice hopefully this turn without our opponent doing too much troublesome stuff. Sigarda's Splendor. So this actually might lean more towards the control area. Let's flash in our apparatus. I'm not sure how long this will stick around then against this deck. Alright, so we could Deadly Cover Up. We can Kaito. Yeah, let's make a token here. We can keep up a couple of instants. And phase out old Kaito there. Lunark Veteran. Opponent's set up now to gain a good deal of life. And the Splendor will help them keep up on cards. There's Wedding Announcement. Okay. Like, if I was going to build this deck, I would for sure put Wedding Announcement in there. Alright, opponent attacks with a Might. I think we're just going to take this. And let's go Experimental Augury at the end of turn. Yep, let's take Augury number 2. Put a counter on the Augury, or on the Apparatus. Kaito's phased out, so no counters for him. Choice between Drown and Deadly Cover-Up. Cover-Up actually might be nice here. In a world where we try to manage the tokens that our opponent is kind of spewing out at the moment, we might need multiple board wipes. Alright, let's go to combat. Send in the ninja. Draw. Another Augury. Okay. Well, Cover Up is super cheap right now. I'm not sure it's worth collecting the evidence from what they've got in the grave, so the Virtue is just hanging out in exile, so we can't grab that. Splendor grabbing them an extra card. Ooh, what? Opponent with a Seal from Existence. So they're probably... Oh, they're going for Kaito, not the Apparatus. Okay. I can live with that. Luminous Phantom. Back from the grave. Wedding Announcement's going to happen. Alright, let's go Augury then. Demonic Bargain. Okay. So is there a case where we can exile enough things and get an Ashiok to survive against this stuff? Could be. Then again, could be complete foolishness, but... Y'all know what channel you're watching. Alright, let's go Deadly Cover Up. Let's collect some evidence here. Let's put everything into exile if we're going to go with this Ashiok plan. Let's pull the Veteran, so no more shenanigans with that. Opponent's got a Borrowed Time in hand, so that means we're probably going to lose access to our Apparatus pretty soon. Well, we do have a Confounding Riddle to try and counter that, though. Okay. Alright, let's start laying the groundwork. Let's go Demonic Bargain. Exile the top 13. There's Ashiok, who is already up to 34. So we just have to find a way to get to play Ashiok and have it survive. What, 2 turns to get it to 7? Ugh, Invasion of Gobakon. Alright, we gotta counter that. We got our win con in hand here. Wedding Announcement. Sure. Opponent really holding on to that Borrowed Time there. Okay, we draw a land. We can play Ashiok and look for something on the top, but that leaves it vulnerable. We could Invasion for Robbery, or even maybe Breach. Let's see what we got here. Sideboard time. Two Marches, Vortex, Robbery, Twilight, Breach. It's definitely Robbery. So, I have a sneaking suspicion that our opponent might play Farewell in that deck, just taking a quick look at it, and knowing the opponents that I face on the ladder. So, if we can rob our opponent of a Farewell, we can actually get our Kaito back, clean up a lot of this mess that we otherwise might not be able to deal with. Opponent making more tokens. Attacks us for 6. Drops us to 10. Anything else? So if they try to do Borrowed Time on the Apparatus, we can respond with the Robbery. No, they're just going to the end step. Alright, let's rob them anyway. Robbery go. What do we got? Spin the wheel. Okay, no Farewell. Couple of Hallowed Hauntings, 2 Borrowed Times, a Takacia's Welcome, and a Wedding Announcement. Okay. We might be able to put up a little defense with this. I think we just became an enchantment deck. Let's go Haunting into Announcement. That'll make a Spirit. And the Announcement's going to make a token on its own. We've got a Vortex in hand. We can bounce a token. And I think we'll have enough to survive here. Oh no, they made a Knight. Does that screw the math up? We might have to chump block with everybody here. We might have just enough, actually. Okay, opponent plays Virtue. So their board's going to start getting real big. Attacks with everybody. All right. Well, if we block the 3/3s... No, let's block the 2/2s. We can bounce one of the Knights and prevent our opponent from getting us up to 3 poison counters. Okay. We draw Deadly Cover-Up. That's fantastic. Okay. Could exile that Invasion from the grave, but I don't know if that's worth it. Let's go... well, we could collect evidence for Ashiok. Yeah, that's true. Alright, let's exile... Yeah, might as well do everything. Wipe the board. We'll pick Invasion. We also get to see our opponent's hand, which is super nice. So it looks like only 2 invasions in that deck. Okay, so I think what we're going to do next... Would love to get rid of one of those enchantments. Let's do Welcome first. That way, when we Borrowed Time... Yep, we draw off the Welcome. And let's get rid of the Hive. That's kind of our opponent's only remaining form of offense until they play this other Wedding Announcement. I don't know, I could see an argument for getting rid of the Splendor too, since that's drawing them so many cards. But we're also at 3, so I can't really I can't really chance that too hard. Alright, opponent plays Announcement. Takacia's Welcome. Gonna gain some life. So, yeah, I think we might be able to outproduce our opponent on the token front now. We might be able to, like, set Ashiok up behind this wall of tokens. So let's get second Haunting. Welcome draws a card. That's nice. And let's see... play land. We can get Ashiok going. We will plus Ashiok. Take a look at the top 2. Let's exile the tower. Take the Augury. And pass it on over, making another token with the Announcement. Opponent with a lot of enchantments on board, but that deadly cover-up came just in time for us. Another seal from existence. All right, what are we trying to seal here? Goes for Ashiok. All right.
I appreciate a good performance.
So much for that plan. All right, tell you what, let's augury and go looking for something. Oh, we get a breach. Breach might work. And we can put some counters on some things. Okay. Let's play land. All right, let's breach here. That's all we get, really? Spirited Companions? Yeah, okay. I guess it's a Spirited Companion then. That's probably the worst breach in history. Couple of things off the top there. Go for the throat and another Mindsplice. Let's draw with the tower, see what we find. Extract a confession. Alright, let's, yeah, let's extract. Why not? Alright, opponent gets rid of the 3/3. We go for the throat on the remaining token. And let's get a nice chunky attack going here. So we can send 8 over at the invasion and 8 over at the face. Might as well flip this invasion since we've got a little work to do on the opponent's life total. Let's cast Invocation of the Founders. Get some more haunting going. Ooh, and we got a bunch of flyers now. We got a stew going. Alright, opponent. So are you willing to farewell this board away? Maybe they don't play farewell. Who knows? I keep imagining they have one. Spirited Companion comes down. Alright. We've got our army of flyers here. Let's see what our opponent's got for it. Borrowed Time finally makes its appearance. I know, a lot of choices. Decides to go for the Haunting. Alright, that makes everybody ground-based again. Ooh, Seal from Existence. Okay. What are we going for? The second Haunting. Okay. Alright, and so we're going to get one big doggo going here. Let's flash in this other Mindsplice, just because we can. Oh, wow, and there's an Outrageous Robbery. Well, I think we got to go for it. Let's do an essentially free 14-card Outrageous Robbery. We're going to copy it. All kinds of lands. That's pretty much all the cards our opponent had left in the library there. But I think just because we can, and because we've kind of become the enchantment deck now, we're going to replace one of these Hallowed Hauntings, and then we're going to cast Borrowed Time for good measure. Draw an extra card. Exile the doggo. Everybody's flying again. Just to show them we could have done it even if you had more cards left. Alright, good game. Okay. Opponent's going first. Let's keep this one. Is that the One Ring flying in there? Interesting. At any rate, are we up against another mono white opponent? This is going to date me a little bit, but if anybody remembers Deck Parfait, you can let me know in the comments. I did try to play it for a little while. It wasn't that great. It was interesting, but not great. Takazia's Welcome. Is this the same deck we just played? Let's get Kaito down. Make a ninja here.
Get in?
Let's start drawing with it next turn, perhaps.
All kinds of actions.
Opponent with Archangel Elsbeth. Alright, so maybe slightly different.
Shining blazing.
Makes a token, draws a card. Well, that's pretty good. Alright, let's play our Reef. Still no Apparatus. Let's go at least try to manage Elsbeth a little bit. Attack with that ninja. We'll draw off a Kaito since we attacked.
Now, what do we have here?
Okay. So they're going to get to make at least one more token. They could make it flying and take Kaito out. That second welcome. That's really a card advantage machine they got going on there. Okay, decides to just attack with the token. Kaito down to 1. Makes another token.
This is our fight to win.
Alright, opponent's machine's definitely up and running. Let's do an Experimental Augury. And we'll take the second Augury as well. Not in the mood to bargain this game. Let's play land number 5. Yeah, let's go. Let's just attack the opponent here. Draw.
I know something you don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to just fold in the cheese, as they say. We're going to put Rona, fold her back into the library there with Rona's Vortex. Did I say Rona? I meant Elsbeth. I see. So that's why the earlier Intrepid adversary was here. So we're going to draw off of the welcome. Pump the team a little bit. Yeah, that seems pretty good. All the draw off of the welcome. Alright, 2 people going for Kaito, as we left him undefended.
I'm hungry.
There's Apparatus. Okay. So we might have to do a little chumping here while we set up the Apparatus. Opponent, of course, finds the wedding announcement. Spirited Companion. They're just going to draw 3 cards off of that one. Yeah, I may try to chump this one. Yeah, I don't want to lose so much life, especially when we're not guaranteed to find a board wipe. Which is kind of my next area of concern. Sure, put some more on there. We're going to find the board wipe eventually. Let's get the Apparatus down, and then we can really do some discounted digging this turn. Alright, we get Reef. Let's go Augury, that's almost free. Ashiok, Celestus, let's take the land, we can kind of run it back. Do another Augury. There's Deadly Cover-Up. Nicely discounted now, too. Yeah, I think we can just fire this off. And if we collect evidence, we can get rid of the Lunarch Veterans. So we'll throw a few spells that way. Alright, let's choose Veteran. Oh, wow, look at that hand. Norn's Wellspring, too? Alright, so we're up against mono board wipes in hand, plus another Elsbeth we're going to have to deal with. But they don't have a way to address the Mindsplice Apparatus, which is good news for me. Alright, let's counter this Elsbeth, since they didn't play a land. That leaves them essentially with board wipes and a Wellspring. Couple of cards from the welcome. Hopefully nothing too good. Alright. Well, we could play Teferi here. What does it make sense to do? Let's draw. We know the tokens are going to run straight into board wipes, and they can't really attack Teferi down effectively just yet. Opponent lays down land number 8. Combat decides to just attack me. Teferi fine for the moment. Interesting. Discards planes and a depopulate. Alright, let's play this second reef. So we're getting close to the time when we've got a big robbery on our hands. Let's make a spirit. We might be able to put them in the mood to wipe their own board. Nope, looks like they're still playing out to it. Although they are just drawing 3 cards off of this dog. It's not really a clear indicator that we're going wide. Restoration. Alright, opponent finds a plains. 27 cards left in their deck. We're at 38. Because there's a world in which we just rob them out of this game. How far away are we? Pretty far. Okay, let's let the announcement resolve. Let's fire off a Outrageous Robbery. Let's see, we can get to 10. Interesting. Nothing great for us. Ruin Lurker Bat. Norn's Wellspring on our side for a change. Okay. Well, let's play a plains. Yeah, opponent's just chock full of board wipes over there. Tell you what. I think if we go tutoring with Invasion, let's take a look at the sideboard. We can grab another robbery. And in the meantime, we can place this bat. And let's see. Yeah, let's go announcement instead of adversary. So that gives us some options. So like if we can start making some tokens, we're not going to attack here. We could surprise our opponent with the Intrepid Adversary a little bit, since we will have a couple of planes on our hands. The other option is we can untap with a Apparatus intact, and maybe hit them with a second robbery and exile the rest of their library. Opponent making a huge board here. Well, we're going to have to do some blocking. Ouch, down to 5. Yeah, if they had had some more removal, probably would have taken us out there. Norn's Wellspring, huh? Interesting. I haven't seen that one very much. Alright, we pick up Confounding Riddle. Opponent's down to 13 cards left in the library, so I think we can afford this. We will do a robbery for 13. And unless I'm missing something, there shouldn't be a way out of this as we take the rest of our opponent's deck. We can do an expel for free, and opponent scoops it up. Good game.